All right.
Ready?
Ready.
So, even though we're a business-focused podcast, focusing obviously on AI, I have come across a statistic today that I think was quite interesting, and I wanted to table it for conversation because I think it gives it shows us how people are using things like ChatGPT, and that you and I have frequently had a conversation about the fact that AI, although we look at it in this podcast, in this context from a business perspective, it is very much a tool that is available to people in their personal lives, and people are often using it more there and then wanting to transfer that kind of capability level of use back into their business lives.
Yep.
First time we've ever seen that, right? So it's a different thing
Yeah.
compared to most technology we see in the workplace or in life. So the statistic, and I'm not going to claim that I can read it out without having it in front of me. OpenAI released a stat that says that 40 million people globally turn to ChatGPT for health information daily. That is 5%, well, actually over 5% of all messages on ChatGPT on a daily basis relate to healthcare topics. That's really interesting though,
right? It is. I think that's why I love the topic of AI. You can take that starting point and it goes about 4 different directions instantly.
Well, that's the way our minds work. So just pick one and we'll go there.
So the first thing, because I was scrolling through the article, I thought it was interesting. They had that I think it was 7 out of 10 of these queries come outside of working hours.
Yeah, 70%. Yeah.
So this is like a classic thing, and I'm biased towards. I do a lot around AI and coaching, and so there is a question of like, does AI replace your healthcare provider? Does it replace coaches? I was like, well, no, but there is definitely a happy medium somewhere where it's like you can't always have access to your healthcare provider, or there's always maybe there's a price point piece to it. Having something that's good enough, always on, always available is really useful. So I think it really plays into some of the ways in which AI is useful to people in a way that is filling a void compared to what was available before.
I definitely get that. And anybody that's not in the UK, this is for information for you, anybody in the UK will know this already, GP wait times are massive. Yes. I know if I look to get an appointment and it's a non-urgent one, I could be waiting 3-4 weeks.
Yep.
By which time I'm a little bit better by then.
Yeah.
So the idea of having something in my pocket that I'd have access to, it's got the knowledge of the web.
Yeah.
And people sometimes argue PhD level knowledge. Then I'm like, well, why wouldn't I turn to that?
And I'm definitely part of the statistics. So I use it for everything from got a bit of a dodgy shoulder at the moment, and so I'll go, well, help me diagnose, what is it? Like, give me tests of how I move it to understand what is it that's actually. So it's a bit like having a physician of going like, you tell me what I need to do, and then you tell me what the diagnosis is off the back of it.
And then give me some exercises to loosen up that shoulder.
And then tell me what I need to be doing differently as a result. So, I mean, it's for low stakes. You know, if I thought I had something seriously wrong with myself, I would be going to a medical professional. But for low stakes stuff, super useful.
Yes, I think that should be a disclaimer we put across this. Do not rely on ChatGPT or any other AI for serious medical conditions.
Yeah.
Go and get seen by a professional. But you made a great point, and we've made it before on podcasts, which is the fact that we have a technology that we use in both business and personal.
Yeah.
And then as we were just about to hit record on this one, you said to me, but the chat providers, so the ChatGPTs, Geminis of this world, what are they doing? Who are they focused on? Are they focused on B2B or B2C?
And that's, I would quite happily have them just divide their products. I think it's like the biggest limitation. I'm not sure that's maybe that's overly bold, but it's definitely a big limitation that they're trying to service these two quite different markets with one product. And to really be granular on what I mean by that, on one hand, they want B2C. They want everybody to have AI as their personal assistant in their pocket that they love turning to. And so that's part of why like the large language models are so programmed to be sycophantic that if you don't turn that off in the instructions, every idea you've had is a brilliant idea, and it wants it to be a good repeatable user experience.
Yeah.
And so that's catering for the B2C market. And then when I'm using it at work, I don't want it to be sycophantic. It would be most useful actually if it was quite objective.
Even bordering on hypercritical.
Yeah, bordering on a bit of a pain.
Yeah. What do you mean that's an awful idea? Don't do that. Yeah. Justify yourself.
Yeah. And currently the only real way, you might disagree on this actually, my way of getting around that is I go into my ChatGPT instructions and I tell it I'm using it for work. I want it to be fair but critical and And then I still have a creeping suspicion then of when it's going and it gives me critical feedback. Is that because I've told it I want it to be critical at times, or is it because there's something to be critical of?
Yes, because that is a thing with AI. It will take you at your word.
Yeah.
It's very literal.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you say, I've had this where it's not quite the same, but if I say something like, give me 2 or 3 bullet points, it will pick one of those 2. Let's say, so it says it's going to do 3, and it will give me 3 bullet points, and it will give me 3 bullet points for every single thing it says, even if there might be 5 for some, or 2 for another, or 1 bullet point for another.
Yeah.
And it's that that lack of flexibility. And even if you ask it to be flexible, choose the right number, you can prompt for it. Don't get me wrong. Listening, you can do it. But if you're working quickly, it will tend to default to being, I'm going to say programmatic in its response, quite formulaic.
Yeah.
And so like to your point, if you give an instruction, it's just following that instruction blindly.
Yeah.
You want to know if there is something to critique, not just give me the critique because I asked for you to always critique me.
Yeah.
In other words, you're saying, can you exercise some judgment?
Yes. Yeah.
And it can do that, by the way. Increasingly, AI can do it, but you've got to be very, very specific about how you ask for that. Doing it in a system prompt or your generic instructions almost certainly will not produce the results that you need it to do.
Yeah.
To be clear.
So that's where I see there is a challenge between this kind of B2C, B2B element of it. And I was like a bit of a throwaway LinkedIn post, but I was putting, I would much rather, it's when I logged in and ChatGPT said, look, we've introduced personality, so I can be nice, I can be moody, I don't need you to have a personality. I would much rather, and I'm going to steal from your idea at the end of last year, I'd much rather have work mode with work memories and personal mode with personal memories.
Yeah.
So I find it really useful that it knows about my home life, it knows about my kids and all stuff like that. So if I ask it about like, we're going on holiday, help me plan it.
Yeah.
I don't have to keep typing out the same things that I have before. Great. Doesn't need to know that when I'm then going to a separate project and focusing on a work focused piece.
No, but in that sense, and I'm going to talk specifically about ChatGPT here because memory is ChatGPT's party piece, which the other LLMs don't have anywhere near the same.
Yeah.
That memory feature is good though, and I find it can switch itself between them.
Yeah.
So it knows when it's dealing with personal memories or because it's regarding them as memories, or it's dealing with work scenarios.
Yeah.
But I would agree, the ability to have a work mode or not. I would happily pay for 2 licenses with ChatGPT, a work and a personal license. I'd pay $40 a month.
Yeah.
But frustration for me is there's not a quick switching mode. You have to log in, log out, log in, log out. It's tedious.
Yeah.
And we find that in our working life, and because we've got multiple ChatGPT login instances. So it's like I end up working on our business one on my laptop, or my computer, and I'll have my personal one on my phone or an iPad or something like that next to me, or on Mac.
Yeah.
So I'm working on 2 different machines.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to get too specific there. But a switchable mode would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be really cool to separate the work from the personal. not to counter, but to add to the conversation though, I talk a lot about the adoption of AI. Well, sometimes I get into some philosophical discussions about like how did this come about? Why do we have AI? A common question I'll get, actually, I say common, I would say it's becoming less common now. But if I'm talking at an event, people will say to me, is it just a fad? Is it going to go away? Or last year was the AI bubble thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's not going away. This is my hill I'll die on.
Yeah.
It won't go away because unlike other technologies that we've seen come and go, not quite take on as much as before, take on the least of life that maybe they were expected to.
Mm.
What ChatGPT did, I'm going to put this firmly at their door because they did it, is they created a way to access generative AI in a B2C consumer sense, right? And which meant that overnight they literally created a user base which a normal B2B tech can never do.
Yeah.
You know, like we've got a myriad of technologies in the B2B world, depending upon which business function you operate in.
Yeah.
No one has a global like monopoly.
Yeah.
ChatGPT kind of has for like the lifetime of generative AI over the last few years. And we're seeing inroads from other providers, and there have been other providers around, but let's be honest. ChatGPT has the lion's share of it, and they got that overnight. The first to market with an interface that was usable for the public.
Yeah.
If they removed that component of it, they would cut off revenue, they'd cut off testing, because they test a lot on like in beta mode with people in that space.
Yeah.
So the end product from a B2B perspective wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
Or frankly, even plausible because of the costs associated with running AI models.
Yeah. No.
So it's a necessary evil. How do they I'm saying how do we deal with it? We're not trying to be them. But you know what I mean? It's almost like I don't think we'll ever be able to separate them.
No. Hence going, I think they need a toggle. Like what mode are you in rather than
like light mode and dark mode.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a user.
And then I think that, you know, there is a utility to it as well. If I'm putting on my business adoption hat, I think more people adopted it from a personal use first, found that useful, took it into a work context, then discovered it at work, found it useful, taking it into a personal context. I think if I was weighting it, I'm going to go at 70-30%. That would be my guess.
I would say it's probably more like 99 to 1.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know many people that have used... I'm probably being slightly unfair, but I think most people have used ChatGPT or equivalent because of... personally, before they used it in a business context.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it. I mean, it's like I think it's more. Closer to the 90%.
I'm going to go to my own one, which I've shared at talks of going. My first like real transformative moment, not transformative, first like proper, oh holy moly moment was asking it for almost like mental health advice, and being like, it going, that sounds tough. And this was the days of Bard, so pre-Gemini.
Yeah.
Back when it was Bard.
Yeah. What an awful name.
But having a moment of being like, oh my goodness, a computer screen just empathised with me.
Yeah. Fake empathy.
Fake empathy, whatever you want to say.
I can give you fake empathy from here.
It's certainly something we didn't have before. Yeah. That was my first moment of being like, this technology is way more powerful than we realise. Or it's not even its power, but like it's going to do stuff.
Yeah. I do get
that. Last thing, or not last thing, but on the paper, which we can link to, I think there's 3 things that come through from it where I go like, that's consistent messages to business. So like the first one is to go like, AI is not coming. Oh, it's here.
Oh yeah.
So if you're in life sciences, you're in healthcare, like
market research,
like people are already using it for what your company provides. So it's not about getting future ready, it's about getting ready for now, coming through. Back to our 70% piece, it's like AI won't just be that it's not just, is it human, is it AI? Of course it's going to be some kind of hybrid. And so being able to have AI fill gaps that we couldn't fill with a human resource before is super useful. So being able to embrace what can AI do that we couldn't do previously is really important. And then I've only read on this lightly, but I think it's really interesting then that they're like, well, what does it mean for the professionals in this loop? And so they're saying that 2/3 of US physicians are now using AI at least once a week. And so go, well, it's interesting what happens when AI starts to change not only just kind of the direct AI to patient in this instance, but also the kind of triangulation of expert AI consumer.
Yeah, because it would be interesting to know the breakdown of, I mean, I doubt we'd ever get those statistics, but it would be cool to know how many of those are general public and how many of those are general practitioners, for example.
Yeah.
To go, I've got X number of appointments, I've got stacked diary. Someone's just said something to me, I can't remember what I studied about 5 years ago at university.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, help me out. I know there's a book on it. I know some stuff, but just give me a bit more of a rundown.
Yeah.
And they use their critical eye that's trained, but just go, that was it. That's what I need to know.
I'm going to do him a disservice, but there was a QC in the UK who was the first QC. I think it was a QC. Or maybe it was a judge. Sorry, first judge in a court in the UK to reference ChatGPT. And it's a really lovely quote where he was like, I got ChatGPT to read this and give its thing, and it's a jolly useful tool, I think is the exact expression.
Oh, we should have used that pre-Christmas. Jolly, that's the time of year for that.
Yeah. And he goes, of course I've used all my subject matter expertise to verify this and everything else. But it was darn useful that it's going a bit more US now. But this kind of expert plus AI, we're going to call it cognitive offloading, aren't we? But it's the kind of...
Well, you will. You'll give it a technical term. I'll just call it human AI.
But where the expert goes, I already know this, but it's an expenditure to think about it.
Yeah,
And this thing can just...
Well, sorry for bringing up another healthcare example, but we've seen that in recent studies. I think it was the start of last year, right this time last year, maybe the end of the year before.
Yeah.
But there were numerous studies on cancer diagnosis where they tested it with humans, AI on its own, and human and AI together.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was demonstrably better when human and AI worked together.
Yeah.
To diagnose. And what they were using was first screening using AI tools to go, this looks a bit dodgy, this is okay. And the success rate was significantly more accurate. So they were using it as a first line of scrutiny and filtering before they went to a human to go and look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't want that for cancer diagnosis, right? So, just to be clear as well, when we're talking about these stats, we're talking about the chat interface, the consumer version of this.
Yeah.
Any conversations that happen or any of the way that models are used and frankly developed that happen behind the scenes are quite different.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about the difference between B2B, B2C here, meaning in a normal day-to-day chat usage rather than it being anything more technical, which we tend not to get into.
Yeah.
But if anybody ever wanted to, I can go there.
The last thing, and this will be my last point, I ran a session for a company called the School of Life, who they are one really cool company. A guy called Alan Dupaton set it up, and it's very much like psychology for the average person to the masses. But they also do have a therapy school, and so we ran a session on what does AI mean for therapists and what should you be aware of as a therapist about AI. And so that's, on the Venn diagram of healthcare, mental health comes into this.
Yes.
And so I'm quite comfortable going, help me diagnose what's going on with my shoulder. I'm quite uncomfortable with people going, I've been feeling a bit blue the last few days. I think I'm depressed. Help me, AI.
But we know that a lot of people are using it for that.
Oh,
Because
massively.
there was some statistics on that last year as well. Weren't there?
Massively.
I can't remember the exact numbers. Don't misquote.
And it's back to this tension between it trying to be a frictionless, reinforcing experience. Well, I think we just don't know enough at this point of going. Could it overly confirm that you have more levels of neurosis than you actually do?
Yeah.
Or could it lead to greater levels of neurosis? And I genuinely can talk for an hour straight on this without interruption, and the poor people at School of Life can vouch for that. There's loads that we can unpack on this, but I'm going to go, if we're talking about AI in healthcare, I think there is a bit of a delineation between mental health and physical health that is useful here.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I built, not in a healthcare space, but built tools that help people with like practice coaching and things like that. And even in that context, it's that idea of how do you, there's a difference when there's no stakes, going with it with eyes wide open about the limitations and the potential biases or how the system works. I think it's fair enough. And the moment you enter into the realm of, let's call it repercussions, serious repercussions could occur. That's where you've got to draw the line, in my opinion. So it's why when we do the coaching side of things, it's as a tool to practice, to role play, to feel like you're not going in cold.
Yeah.
But disclaimer, this is an AI, does not perfectly simulate real life events.
Yeah.
And so, in the healthcare space, again, like you said, you don't want those. They're not sinister biases, in the sense that it's not trying to be devious or deceptive. I think we should clear that up, or at least put that out there.
Yeah.
But by the inherent nature of the fact that it's, to your point, a tool that has got a dual purpose of help you do stuff, but doing it in a nice way, doesn't necessarily lend itself all the time to a solution that is useful when you need to have a more discerning touch.
Yeah, absolutely. And going right at a tangent here, if you're not familiar with it, two things. Are you familiar with Pi? Pi.ai?
I like cherry pie.
Pi.ai? Yeah.
I don't know if I am. I might be, but...
So I don't know what it's powered by. I think it's powered by Claude or something.
I feel like I do know that.
So early days, I was like, it's basically, I would put it in like the list, being like, it's ChatGPT, it's Copilot, it's Claude, it's Pi, and then Pi is a bit different. It feels when you go on, they frame it as having the most emotionally intelligent interaction with AI.
Right.
So you go in, it's like, what would you like to do today? Journal your thoughts. Make a friend. And so, like,
careful where we go with this. This could be going down a very slippery slope.
Well, so I run this in corporate environments, but like, if you've got a kid who's not having a great time at school, and then they can go home and they've got this Pi.ai, that will have a really lovely make a friend conversations with them. I can totally see how you have a generation, not an entire generation. You have some people growing up who genuinely their most positive reinforcing point of support is Pi.ai or Characters AI or whatever it is, and that's mad in its own way. And what made me think of that is there are two subreddits. My boyfriend is AI and my girlfriend is AI.
Yeah, I've seen these.
And the stuff on there, well, the thing I think is most eye-opening about it is how much, when we're using ChatGPT, it has learnt to respond to us in a way that works for our interaction style.
Yeah.
And seeing how it reacts, the same base product reacts to somebody else where it's got a completely different...
Oh yeah, the way what we get out of AI is massively different from each other with the same prompt, right?
Yeah. Crazy. But that's B2C meets B2B. I don't want it to become somebody's best friend, girlfriend, boyfriend. I want it to be useful. No,
but at the same time, it's difficult, right? Because we could elongate the conversation here, but where in a world where we now walk around with smartphones.
Mm.
That I can pull up Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT on my phone and have a conversation with it. And at the moment, no device is doing a good job of integrating any of those large language models into not even Google Pixel.
Yeah.
So let's be clear. But when that does happen, where it's literally, I can talk to, I'm not going to say her name because she'll respond on my phone, but I can talk to my phone, and they, and it is a high level intelligent conversation, intelligent in the true sense of the word. But when that happens, I don't know if I mind it having a personality because I'm using it like a personal assistant.
Yeah.
And it could be bridging that gap. Like, and actually, a business context is a good example. In the days of old, when all the C-suite had a PA,
Yeah.
did they not want it? I'm thinking, my head's going straight to Suits and thinking about Donna in Suits and Harvey.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there was nothing wrong with having someone that understands what you need, how you need it, delivered in a way that makes you more effective.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could keep going on this topic, but do you know what I mean? Like it's I don't know, trying to solve the problem, but I think it's going in knowing that that's the potential, or at least it's part of the equation to be considered when you're using these tools. Maybe that's the point where we say.
Well, and then I will give my last empathetic point for leaders to go like.
We've had a lot of last points on this one.
I know.
Go on.
My empathy for senior leaders. I'm meant to be trying to drive AI adoption in my business, and what is AI? It's simultaneously a thing that people are having. Reddit is AI is my boyfriend,
yes.
And meant to be the productivity tool of the future. Just madness.
But it can be.
Yeah. I know it can be.
And that's the cool thing about it, right? Is that there is no restriction.
Yep.
It's whatever you can feasibly or conceivably mold it into.
Yeah.
Part of the challenge of adoption.
Yep.
It's so versatile.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, this was a conversation I wasn't expecting, particularly AI is my boyfriend or girlfriend at the end of it. But
we can cut that.
It's the service. No, we're keeping it. It's the service we provide now.
All right. Until next time.
Yeah, tune in next time to see if Dexter's replaced his whole family with AI. I'll see you next time, Dex.